we've never quite found the right way to engage at the neighbourhood level, at the ward level. And that's what this is attempting to do, and we're doing it in a very different way to what we've ever done before in Lewisham.
So we're going into our first meeting to meet as a community in our assembly. We're going to be looking at results of a consultation and deciding priorities from there.
Each of the assemblies will be made up of representatives from local voluntary organisations, but more importantly maybe is to involve as many residents as possible.
I think this, the priorities that are selected will send a very, very strong message to the council.
The state of the roads, whether the road systems work, whether there's traffic control.
There's something about getting safety for them. We've had more pensioners with black eyes where they're falling over pavements.
If you do set young people as a priority, we need to make sure we get it here.
I think we need to actually mention refugees and asylum seekers.
I have a duty and a commitment to try and find ways of pushing power and responsibility down below the town hall.
The aim of the coordinating group is to basically meet and to discuss how we then move forward with the next meeting based on what we had at this meeting, and to make sure the agenda reflects that.
There's no point in allocating our money towards things that would be picked up by mainstream council funding anyway. We want to put our 10k to things that the council is unlikely to pick up in mainstream funding.
It's the fact of young people not having anything to, not having places to go, and then you've got down there and you've got the school, having great facilities and the accessibility of it. Well, there's an easy link straight there. Get the school to commit to having that open in the evening and at times on the weekend.
The issues around children, I just think 10k will just get lost.
Does anybody see anything here that may be, for want of a better word, a quick win for us as a group?
I think the biggest win in terms of the 10k is the community centre, because you could run a programme event, introduce a programme events that would deal with priority one as well, young people, and the idea of maximising usage, bringing the community together. You could actually do something about that with 10k.
So are we seeing something emerging here, which is one theme that we want to have as our campaign, for want of a better word, and another theme which is about where we can spend some money to make a visible difference quickly? Yes. It was a good discussion that did focus on the priorities, but most importantly they made a decision about where to spend the money, but not just where to spend a bit of money, but the context in which that money is going to be spent. So it's about developing the community centre as a hub of the community.
About having Regen come in?
Yeah. In the next assembly, we all meet together again as a community, and the community decides how that money is going to be spent, and maybe also what we want to campaign on as a community.
The assembly is requested to consider, amend and agree the actions that have been identified by the coordinating group for each priority.
10,000 doesn't go far and it's not that much, but maybe we need to look at if there's any alternative sources of funding, external funding, that we could actually help the organisation lever in.
I think that sort of takes us on to, okay, we're considering sort of what we might be able to spend our 10k on, but part of this task as well is to actually see what other groups that are in the room can actually assist the delivery of this particular action as well.
Okay, so thank you very much. We've come to a decision and we've got some actions and we've got a way forward, so we can pick those up.
This is the kind of community centre that the group's decided to spend money on, and what this can bring is real investment in the community, because it could offer more of a homework club for our young people, more activities for our older people. There's a lot more with a bit of capital that can really improve buildings like this.
Because I'm involved in the local community, I feel that I'll be taking a lot from my community to the Assembly, and hopefully things will move forward on in my local community.
Hopefully, again, they will improve the life of people living in, certain areas, especially areas that are, deprived.
We all have the same problems in terms of how we live in a so-called deprived area. But at the end of the day, there needs to be people from the grassroots. And if you don't have that, this Assembly isn't going to work. I have great hopes that it will.
When you get a group of residents together talking about real issues in their area, that common themes emerge, and you suddenly find that you're not alone, and the kind of things that you've been concerned about, other people are concerned about as well. And provided you take a mature approach rather than your own, sectarian view, you can usually come to a sensible solution.
It was always a difficulty when there was a meeting of the area forum, so because you'd have 3 safer neighbourhood teams turning up, which I think is probably a waste of taxpayers' money. But now there'll be a definite defined group who can come along and speak for the wars, and I like that idea.
It's community leadership, it's understanding what people want and coming back to the centre with those views, and of course bidding where necessary for more money. So there'll be the local 10,000 locality fund that we've had a couple of years, and a new central pot where people can really bid for some significant funds that will make a difference.
I think that 5 years from now, I would hope that we will have vibrant local assemblies in each of our wards, but ones that look very different, that have different priorities, quite possibly different ways of working. What they would have in common was that they were the places that people in those localities saw the governance of their areas happening.